Greetings everyone, this is me again, Zahra Jawad, on my second channel, but here Zahra Berserk, I'm kind of rottenly phased out, so maybe the Muslims, they will use every kind of trick here, and they could be paid to do this, distract people, use Hinduism also, because it's coming. Never did Paramahamsa Vishwananda give. So I'm afraid that they will be using. They're investing now. Oh my God! So by hook or by crook, even if your reason does not, the ayats do not go with the reason, they are making people by hook or by crook stay in Islam, and they will. They used atheism, ex-Muslims as atheists. They've used ex-Muslims, Christians, Adam Seeker, Salahuddin. Very good. Like you can't gaslighting you, because they use many ways tactics. So if I get provoked, like you say no. You see, Salahuddin goes on those verses to show me that blasphemy against. But even in Shia Islam, there was, if you say anything against Prophet Muhammad, it's a death penalty, right? Imam Ali, I found it a long time in Karachi online. I found somewhere, or maybe in the books, Shia books, that Imam Ali killed someone because they had insulted Prophet Muhammad with a sword. And I remember going down telling my father about this, what I had read, because I couldn't keep patience anymore because of my health. So I was, you know, anyways, these people, oh God, I can't. So I have to endure gaslighters, polite people. They come very politely, very polite people, and they will definitely. And then I see an so Arab ex. I don't want to waste my time on, but I do suggest that. But I feel that even Dr. David Wood is very, like it's against the hadiths. The Islam is mostly concentrated on hadiths. So Sunni, but that they, and even on the one of his live stream, they were saying, if you are a Shia, no, don't, only Muslim non-Shias, for non-Shias. So I think even the Americans may have a soft corner, some of them, for Shias. So there's I'm going to, like, even Shias will come here with Indian names and all that. India even, uh, you know, Brahma, Husseinis and all. So, and these covert narcissists, gaslighters have a, of course they're going to protect their religion. It's by hook or by crook. Don't leave it. Uh, don't leave this religion. They won't, what I'm doing, it's going to, some Shias might not like this. It's going to cause some Shias also to go against me, right? Because I'm not using Sunni hadiths. And maybe they'll even try to use a Hindu guru or make, like many things. So I have to be very cautious. And with the duplicity people, and again Salahuddin. So what makes Dr. Okay, in the debate I could not see it, but what makes Dr. David Wood rotten? Because he said he's ignorant about what? Where is this? Oh, I get stuck with gaslighters and all. Salahuddin is here. May peace and blessings be always with you. Oh, thank you very much, Salahuddin. Also with you. May peace and blessings be with you. But I'm very scared of you. You know, honey poisoned? Sorry, you called Dr. David Wood rotten. Can you answer one question? Instead of going, thank you for the learning session, Salahuddin. Oh no, now DFS has come. Sim. What's this? No, it's SLM. Salam. Alaikum Assalam, DFS. What are the tactics used by Muslims? Politeness? When will they reform the religion then? That saying against Prophet Muhammad has no death penalty. So when do you think your Muslim leaders, countries are going to reform? Since they have been giving death penalties to blasphemers. Salahuddin, can you answer one question? What made you say that Dr. David Wood is rotten when even Uthman, what's his name? Sorry, I've forgotten the name you took. Do you think he knows about his religion? See, 68. I saw that. It is an important rule of engagement. I saw that, Salahuddin, but can you answer my question that I'm asking you? Please answer my question. I'm waiting. Instead of, I appreciate it if you mean peace and blessing, and if you cooperate, then peace and blessings will be here. We can avail peace and blessings. We don't even have to pray for each other because there's a God who takes care. Providence takes care of everyone. Right? So then without saying, just the presence of an honest person will have the peace and blessing sent. Like I never used to even thank my friends, right? On their faces. But it goes without saying. If I enjoyed myself with my friends, means that's what they wanted me to like. It's not a favor we are doing. It's not a give and take. So instead of saying thank you and blessings and peace, if true people meet honest people, the blessings will automatically be here for us to enjoy and not feel disturbed inside and not become a hypocrite. Then you see, hypocritically, although I'm angry at you, upset, very hurt. Now, what is the reason? Do you think Uthman, that the Maulana Sahib, a religious scholar, knows about his religion? DFS says, yes, Providence takes care of all. Muslim acts are not Islam. No. Actually, Muslim acts are, yes, contrary. Those Muslims who are not terrorists, they have beautified their religion. That is a commandment to be good to everyone. Does it override killing of and expelling the Yathrib people? How can I see this? Let me see. Does it override the killing? Surah Tawbah ayats. General commandment. So, Surah Mumtahana. Okay, I've seen this, but these were abrogated. Abrogated. Because the people of Yathrib did not expel Prophet Muhammad. They may have wanted him to leave their city, but he was also not leaving their city. And he was not killed, although we are told in the Islamic history, I cannot believe in that history. Even the Quran ayats are abrogated. This Quran ayat was abrogated. This may be a commandment. But this commandment has to be abrogated because there are other Quran ayats. Which talk about Surah Hashar ayats. How can you say that Prophet Muhammad, hello, this is not a case of terrorism to the people of Yathrib. You see, as a Shia, reading Surah Ahzab ayat 37, forget the error he made, mistake he made, which the Shia commentators don't even address. Fifth ayat or fourth ayat, we are told. He made a mistake by adopting Zed as his son according to the pagan idol Arab worshipping way. Oh, sorry, pagan, custom. And he does not forbid you to deal kindly and justly with anyone who has not fought you for your faith or driven you out of your homes. God loves the just. Battery low. Just a minute, please. God loves the just, but here Quran ayahs are that Surah Hashar ayats. This ayat has to be abrogated. Saladin, this ayat has to be abrogated. Fought you for your faith. This ayat. I went to this ayat, I saw it. Surah Mudathir ayat. I know, but this ayat has to be abrogated because of Surah Hashar ayats. Why can't you see Surah Hashar ayats in which this person, Allah, it's not even his city. But then there are other ayats which say that we will make it prevail over and you will conquer lands. Conquer lands. Other lands you have not set foot on. You will conquer them. He wants to conquer lands. Not that tribe wasn't of those who has not fought the Muslim because of the Muslim faith. No, that tribe wasn't of those who has not fought the Muslim because of the Muslim faith. Please, Salahuddin, please look at this. You will, believers, you will conquer lands you have not set foot on. Isn't he fighting the polytheist religion? Huh? Shows that he was fighting. Because the Quran ayats are not very clear. It is not for your enemy's sake that he stayed your hands from them, but it was bent on denying the truth to debar you from the inviolable. Prevent. You see, you can't take. This is a hypocrite. You just can't give me Surah 60 and concentrate on this. Muazzi's Divine Guide, early Shiism mentions integral Quran that is longer. Oh, a DFS, it's not available for me. I don't know what this is. I'm with Salahuddin here, very. Can you please tell me? Can we take the Quran ayats on face value? It's come from one side, Allah and Prophet Muhammad. Huh? How did the Shias come to with their research about Abu Bakr, huh? Aisha, Hafsa? How do the DFS Shias, you know Shias, religious scholars? If you read all the hadiths, you will understand all the hadiths. How did the Shias do research to find out? Because there are some hadiths which say Ali was the killer, some hadiths against Ali, Abu Talib. So how do you do the research? There is an ayat that says, fight those who fought you only. We take the Quran as a whole. Okay, you take the Quran as a whole. So there's an ayat which says, fight those who fight you only. But there's also an ayat which says the whole. Can you take the Quran as a whole when there are ayats which go against this? There are discrepancies in the Quran ayats which say that the polytheists are najis, and they should not be there, right? What is your, okay, you take the Quran as a whole. So do you take the ayat which says the polytheists are najis? Like this, they should not be around the sacred mosque. Huh? You claim to take the Quran as a whole. So why not take those ayats which I'm showing you, right? Or you can't say you take the Quran as a whole and blame me for taking half the Quran. Because some of the ayats also were abrogated. God himself says, why don't you take those ayats from Allah? I abrogate some ayats and bring new signs. Huh? DFS says I have many translations. Salahuddin, sorry DFS, I have to deal with Salahuddin first. You said there is an ayah that says fight those who fight you only, about your faith, right? Or who oppose you against your faith? Oh, you believe the polytheists are nothing but unclean. So they shall not come near the sacred mosque after this. So not only is the breaking of the pact, now do you take this ayat or not? It is there. It is there. And so if you're saying there's an ayat and we take the Quran as a whole, I'm saying, why are you avoiding neglecting this ayat if you say you take the Quran as a whole? Here, it does not say they broke the treaty, kill them. It says, "O you who believe, the polytheists are nothing but unclean." It doesn't say because they broke the treaty, they are unclean. It says the idol worshippers are nothing but unclean. Surah Tawbah 28. What you're telling me here, you're saying we take the Quran as a whole, but I don't see you taking the Quran as a whole at all, because you have neglected to see these ayats, which are against the polytheists. They've called, and they cannot come near the sacred mosque after this year of theirs, not because they broke the treaty here. Why are you avoiding this ayat and what it claims to say? So they shall not come near the sacred mosque because the polytheists are unclean. Salahuddin, you are claiming that you take the Quran as a whole. But this is not the only ayat generalizing overriding the other ayats, right? Here something has happened in Surah Tawbah which goes against Surah 60 verse 8. If they have not fought you, do not fight them. This ayat doesn't say that they broke a pact with you, that's why they are unclean, and they will not come near the sacred mosque after this year of theirs. So your claim against me that you take the Quran as a whole, then why are you neglecting this verse? Why are you neglecting this verse? Salahuddin, yes, it is a metaphorical uncleanness because of the idols worshipping. No. The point here is, Salahuddin, that they should not come near the sacred mosque after this year of theirs. They are being expelled out not because they expelled the Prophet from Makkah, not because the point here is what the Quran ayat 60, Surah 60 you gave me to check, verse 8 says. It goes against this. So even those polytheists who did not break pacts, did not even hurt the Muslims or the Prophet, are unclean. So this ayat, my point is this ayat goes against 60, Surah 60 ayat 8. Right, Salahuddin? Wasn't Makkah initially idols free? My point, don't go, you are now, no. My point here is, let me just get this. My point here is that this ayat, you said, you claim that you take the whole Quran. But this ayat you gave me, check 60, Surah 68, ayat 8, goes against this ayat. Surah Tawbah ayat 28 goes against Surah 60 ayat 8. Can you see this? Can you see this? And then you claim, because you're going to claim many big things, like we haven't read the whole Quran, and you take the Quran as a whole, and Muslims are not supposed to kill out of blasphemy, But there have been laws set out, apostasy laws, death penalty. So stop, you know, what is this? How are these ayats contradictory? DFS says, how are these ayats contradictory? Because here, it's because that ayat that DFS says, you do not fight those who do not fight you for faith, right? And here we are told that these polytheists are unclean. And do not even harm them if they haven't fought you for. Do not expel them because they have not expelled you. Do not harm them in the least bit, right? Fighting is not banishing. Expelling is, well, Prophet Muhammad, if he was expelled, the ayat itself says that if someone has not expelled you against you, believers, and Prophet Muhammad, if they have not banished you, don't harm them. The ayat says, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying this is a fighting ayat, but this is expelling. Expelling is not good, right? According to the Quran ayat. Expelling Prophet Muhammad from Makkah for his faith. The Quran ayat itself says, right? I'm not the one saying it. Yes, fighting is not banishing. DFS says, it says they have not expelled you. It says nothing of you expelling them. And it says do not harm them. Yes. Yes. So if these people have not expelled you, then do not harm them. Believers, right? So, but here, why are these polytheists not allowed in the sacred mosque, near the coming near the sacred mosque? Meaning they'll be expelled from their homes, their hometown, their city. They're being banished. They've been sent away. Right? So it says, do not, the other ayat says, do not harm, but here you are making them homeless. You are banishing them. You're not letting them come near the Makkah sacred Kaaba. Isn't that harming them? Huh? Because the Quran ayat says, they banished, expelled you, the polytheists from Makkah, expelled you. So if they do not expel you, don't. When they have expelled you, what to do? In Surah Tawbah, what do you do? Those who have broken the treaty, they didn't fight you, but they broke the treaty. What do you do? Huh? What are you told to do in Surah Tawbah? Here it's, aren't you saying these policies are unclean? However they may be, spiritually or physically, however they may be, but they are unclean. And they are the worst of creatures. Surah Baina. How can your Allah call them the worst of creatures when they haven't generally also? And here, so they shall not come near the sacred mosque. Yani, you have not allowed them. They had their gods in the Kaaba. You know, DFS, that the gods who were taken out, thrown out of the Kaaba, they can't come. They can't use this house of sacred house for worship anymore. Prophet Muhammad and his Allah won't allow this. And there's other ayat also. Where is it that says they used to give water? And this house is for all the people. I can't find that. And they used to give water. So don't water and maintain. They used to maintain this house, this sacred, maintain it. Of course you're harming them. Of course you're sending them out. You're banishing them from the sacred mosque. Huh? They water and maintain. It's not the same. Slowly, slowly he's taking them out. They were maintaining the sacred mosque. These polytheists of Makkah. Right? Huh? This is not harm. Huh? Do you pagans, because you served water, Surah Tawbah, sacred mosque, consider yourselves equal to those? Equal to whom? The believers? Don't consider yourselves equal to the deeds of one who believes in Allah, as if they didn't, and the last day, and strives in the cause of Allah. They are not equal in the sight of Allah, and Allah does not guide the wrongdoing people. They are called wrongdoing people. Allah does not guide the wrongdoing people. They're called zalim, are they? So what do you do with the zalim? This act of this. And the sacred mosque. The sacred mosque was for all people and citizens. Who lived nearby. But once you are free that you're here it says denying entry into the holy mosque. But this is for there are many. But look at this part. They ask you about the sacred month. Okay, I didn't find that ayat. But let's come here, 217 of Surah Baqarah. From the way of Allah, disbelief in Him and preventing access to Masjid al-Haram and the expulsion of its people therefrom are greater evil in the sight of Allah. And fitna is greater than killing. Fitna is greater than killing. Your Allah says it. It's the Quran ayat, DFS. And whoever of you reverts from his religion and dies while he is a disbeliever, for those their deeds have become worthless in this world and the hereafter, and those are the companions of the fire. They will abide therein eternally. They ask you about the sacred month. That is about fighting in it. Saying fighting in it, it is something grave. But it is much more grave in the sight of Allah. To prevent, it is much more grave. So you're saying fighting is not banishing. You said this, DFS. So I gave you this verse. Fighting in it is something grave. But it is much more grave in the sight of Allah to prevent people from the path of Allah, to disbelieve in Him, and in al-Masjid al-Haram, that's the Kaaba, and to expel its people from there. And fitna is more grave than killing. DFS says, what would you say to those who venerate imams like Raza Zahra Bazar? First, let's look at this verse. Can you accept this? I think you are very keen to go to Shia Islam. And the Imam, I don't say, what do you say to those who venerate Imams like Raz? You can venerate anyone you like, right? Just don't say my religion is the best religion, true religion. As long as you don't venerate a tyrant who is killing, lying, I agree with you. Oh, thank you very much. At least we agree on something. I found someone that agrees with me on something. So, you see here it says fitna is worse than killing. Surah Nisa 94. Believers, when you go forth in the way of Allah, discern and do not say to him who offers you the greeting of peace, you are not a believer. Yes, this ayat is there, but you are not a believer. So, but how about this ayat? Huh? Believers, when you go forth in the way of Allah, discern between friend and foe. And do not say to him, first of all, you can't take your friend. You can't even take a... What about this ayat? No, I was going to Surah. Don't take your parents if they have chosen Surah Tawbah. What about this ayat? Surah Tawbah 23. Does it go with the ayat you have given me in Surah Nisa 95? Believers, do not take your fathers and your brothers for your allies if they choose unbelief. They're just choosing unbelief in preference to belief. How do you reconcile Surah Nisa 94 that you have given me with this? In preference to belief, whosoever of you takes them as allies, those are wrongdoers, Salim. O you who believe. So, it's repeating. Let's go inside. Now, please, DFS, can you tell me, how do you reconcile? These have just chosen disbelief. These are your fathers, your brothers. Right? Look at the whole ayat here. O you who believe, do not take your fathers and your brothers as allies. Huh? If they prefer disbelief over belief, and whoever takes them as allies among you, then those they are the wrongdoers. Please tell me, DFS, they are still relatives although not allies? They are not allies in the way of the deen. Okay? They are still relatives, DFS says. Okay. Then we come to do not show affection. To your fathers, if they be your fathers. How do you reconcile this Quran ayat? Believers, do not take your father. No, wait. Mujadila, you will not find a people. 22nd ayat of Mujadila. Tell me about this. How do you reconcile this ayat? Oh, you. No, sorry. You will not find a people who believe in Allah and the last day having affection for those who oppose Allah. Just opposing Allah and His Messenger. Even if they were their fathers, or their sons, or their brothers, or their kindred. Those He has decreed within their hearts faith and supported them with spirit. Huh? How do you reconcile this ayat? Just for opposing Allah and the Messenger. You can't even show affection to your relatives. It's a building up, right? So, Surah Nisa at 94. How do you reconcile with this? You just told me what you agree with me, right? You can venerate who you like. It's your choice. You still love your relatives who believe different than you? No. You will not find a people who believe in Allah and the day, the last, loving, wadud. It says don't love. It does not say that they cannot have affection. It says don't love. Wadudo, loving care, loving kindness. Wadud, ya wadudo, you know what it means? Of course it means love comes with affection, care, loving kindness. Wadud, you just said before, you still love your relatives who believe different than you. No, you don't. This ayat means you take away, you remove your loving affection. Love and affection go hand in hand. So you had a question mark here. You don't know. You still love your relatives who believe different than you? Question mark. No, you don't. Loving those who oppose Allah and His Messenger. They're not fighting, they're not killing, they're just opposing Allah and His Messenger. Huh? Difference. Why has Allah used oppose? They just oppose. They are not with Allah and the Messenger. Do not love them. It says you will not see it or find it. Does this mean it is not true love? No, it says do not show. Show. It says you will not find a people who love, yani, the act of love. Loving. Anything, loving. So what's the opposite of love? Hate. Or indifference. Right? Loving. Who oppose Allah. Loving those who oppose Allah and His Messenger, even if they were their fathers or their sons or their brothers. Indifference is something altogether different. But here it's okay, indifference means you take away your love. You don't show your love. Please have a look at this. Indifference means, what does this mean if you do not love? There are translators which say affection. Do not show affection. You will not find the people who believe in Allah and the last day having affection. Sahih International. What do you say about this? Having affection. What do you say about Sahih International's translation? Huh? Indifference means or opposition. Yeah, it does. Affect is a show. And what is it telling you to do and not do? Affect is outward. What are you saying, DFS? What is this ayat saying? Which point are you coming to? What is affect and what is not affect? Indifference is inward. So what do you understand by this ayat? Huh? You gave me the good ayat. Surah Nisa ayat 94. Now what do you understand by this? Ayat, please. This is what I'm getting at. If one acts against something, they are not in support of it. That is counter to the deen. And the Quran propagates Islam, if nothing else. You told me that you gave me this ayat, Surah Nisa ayat 94, believers. Believers, when you go forth in the way of Allah, discern between friend and foe, and do not say to him, like discern, in brackets you've put here, right? Let me show you what he has done here. Tawbah says they should not maintain, which could also mean they should not frequent visit, or that they have no right to visit. Oh, he's making his own interpretations about the Surah Tawbah. Salahuddin says, wasn't Makkah initially idols free? They are giving their own opinions. Al-Quds. What would you say to those who venerate imams like Raza, Zahra Bazark? DFS says, I agree with you. So I gave him the answer and he agrees. It says, do not harm them. DFS says, fighting is not banishing. It says, you have not expelled you. It says, they have not expelled you. It says nothing of you expelling them. Look at what I have to deal with. It says, do not harm them. DFS says, Surah Nisa ayat 94. Believers, when you go forth in the way of Allah, discern between friend and foe. In brackets. And do not say to him who offers you the greeting of peace, you are not a believer. They are still relatives. So I gave him this other ayat. DFS says they are still relatives, although not allies. They are not allies in the way of the deen. Then I went to Surah Mujadila. First I gave him Surah Tawbah at 23. So he still says, you still love your relatives who believe different than you, in a question mark. DFS says, it says you will not see them having affection. Yes, DFS, it does not say that they cannot have affection. Oh, about Surah Mujadila 22. Liars are cursed by your own Quran ayats. Misinformers. DFS says, it says they don't even follow their own Quran ayat rules. DFS says, it says you will not see it or find it. Does this mean it is not true love? Surah Mujadila 22 on that. DFS says indifference is something altogether different. DFS says indifference means opposition. DFS says affect is a show. DFS says affect is outward. Why do you want to protect this religion? Indifference is inward. DFS says if one acts against something, they are not in support of it. That is counter to the deen. But the Quran ayat says, do not call disbelievers those who offer you what? Surah Nisa 94 that you gave me? Greetings of peace. You are not a believer. Do not say. What do the Jews say? Shalom? Right? Okay, polytheists may say, I bow to the divine in you. They may not offer you peace, but that would mean that the divine is in you. We cannot even, I bow to that. There are many translations pictorial. Oh, you believe when you go forth to fight in the way of Allah, be careful to discriminate. Sahih International, oh, you have believed when you go forth to fight in the cause of Allah, investigate. And the other ayat is, do not call for peace when you have an upper hand. How do you reconcile that ayat with this? If it's about war, O believers, do not cry for peace when you have power over them. Huh? When you have overpowered them. Do not cry for peace. I hope I get it like this quickly. How do you reconcile this? So do not falter, cry for peace, for you will have the upper hand. Or, okay, like this. Some translations are, when you have the upper hand, do not cry, do not cry, falter, cry for peace when you have the upper hand. And He will never let your deeds go to waste. Like, you're saying, if now they say peace, we want peace, and you're not allowed to even cry for peace, then Allah will give you the upper hand if you don't cry for peace. Oh, you believe when you go to fight in the cause of Allah, verify the truth, Mohsen Khan. But you see here, how do you reconcile with this verse? Surah Muhammad, ayat 35, with the verses, different translations you're giving me. Is it enough? Huh? It is telling the believers, do not cry for peace. Another, Yusuf Ali Singh, Surah 47, ayat 35. Do not weary and faint-hearted, crying for peace when you should be uppermost. When you should be uppermost. When you should become uppermost. So when you have become uppermost, you should offer peace to the trodden, underdogs. How do you reconcile with this ayat? Huh? Please, and be not slack or say to cry for peace, Shakir. But please answer my question, DFS. How do you reconcile? Please cooperate and make it easy. I don't want all these different translations from you. I have it here. Yes, Shakir says here. How do you reconcile with this? On one hand, the ayat is saying, what? Discriminate, discern, investigate between foe. How do I reconcile this with what? How is this an issue, Zahra? Of course this is an issue. Here you have the upper hand, you will get the upper hand. So do not cry for peace. And you say Islam is the peace, and you're giving me this ayat and that ayat about peace and loving and not fighting those who expelled you. And Surah Nisa ayat 94. Believers, when you go forth in the way of Allah, discern between friend and foe, and do not say to him who offers you the greeting of peace, this ayat you gave me, you are not a believer. So why would you be fighting? You can't even call out for peace, because God tells you not to call out for peace. If you have you will get the upper hand. This means that from the very beginning, war, you didn't even, this is not peace, right? This is not about peace, very beginning. Now you're in the war, or what? So do not falter and cry out for peace when you will be the uppermost. Meaning from the very beginning, don't offer them peace. How do you reconcile? What are you saying, DFS? Having the upper hand is not always deserved. But this is not the point here. What is deserved and what is not deserved? It says, do not call out for peace. Offering is calling out. Yes, it says to the believers, do not call out for peace. Why? Hear this. And there, the surah, your own ayat you gave me here. How do you reconcile with that? Think about it, brother. DFS. You said even that ayat you gave me, this ayat you gave me. Surah Nisa ayat 94. Now you work it out. There's a problem here. Right? So you don't offer peace and you don't call out for peace. Calling out not for help, but calling out for peace. Peace. During war even, calling out for peace. It's not calling out that you are weak and you're calling out for help. Help is only with Allah. But you offer peace to whom? Right? Offering and calling out are different, DFS. How are they contradictory? Yes, I will work it out. Yes, when you work it out, please let me know here. If I offer you something that is not calling out seems more aggressive than offering. In aggression, maybe the other party is aggressive against you and you're calling out for peace. What if you called out for peace? Maybe they would stop. You have to try, right? Appeal to their hearts. Crying out is not offering either. For peace. Crying out for peace. It's offer. Okay, in that ayat it says, you are not a believer. If you seek, what's this? Greeting. And do not say to him who offers you the greeting of peace, you are not a believer. So you're saying here offering is different, and the believers should not even cry out for peace. An offer can be turned down. But a cry for peace, like believers are asked not to cry for peace. Huh? That's terrible. I'm not saying they shouldn't cry out. I'm saying a cry is wrong. Yes, but your Allah is saying do not cry out for peace. We're not talking about you and I, what we want. It's what Allah is saying here. An offer is akhlaq. Akhlaqi taur pe, they said, they offered you peace. But here, the believers are not even allowed to call out. Offer and calling out, brother, you may be great at word this thing, but you see, calling out, just calling out for peace. You believers are not allowed to call out for peace by Allah, right? So, please, you may like the words offer and you may have this, but look at the Quran ayat. Don't get lost in words like that, unnecessarily, in details, right? Like that. Like offer is akhlaqi taur pe, and believers have etiquette. Sorry, I missed your previous comment here. GFS says, I'm saying Muhammad has written offer and he has written crying. Allah has. Sorry, Allah has, right? Not Muhammad. DFS. This is a ayat. I also make these mistakes. I say Muhammad, but it's Allah. I'm saying Allah, Muhammad has written offer and he has written crying or calling out. The words are symbols, Zahra. This is the beauty of our minds. Yes, okay. But let's get to the point where calling out for peace is not allowed. The whole phrase, calling out for peace, right? Let's say if they called out for peace to those who were in the battle. That's not my point. DFS Muhammad PBUH did not have to write it. No. It's Allah. It's the Quran ayat, for goodness sake. Jihad is the battle. Go on. It's the Quran ayat. It's not Muhammad. DFS. I will go on, but will it go inside you, sink into you? I have been going on. The Quran, yes. I'm listening. Are you listening to me or are you listening to your Quran? The good verses are still ringing in your ears harder than... So if you've come with that mentality that Islam is the true religion, there's nothing wrong with this ayat. Then I cannot show you. Then you're wasting my time, you're hemorrhaging my energy already, it's hemorrhaging. You're wasting my time. And your time too. Just stick to the proper argument here, right? If for argument's sake, if you want to debate with me, Or can we be as friends going? Will you be my friend? Not my... Oh, then you will help me against Allah. And that would be... You've already been told not to cooperate. You make a very good point. The language from ayat to ayat is not always reconcilable. It should be. It should be because Allah has said if you find much discrepancies in the Quran ayats, right, in the Quran, it will be from other than God. How can they not reconcile? So if they don't reconcile, they are in contradiction. If there are discrepancies, your Allah Himself said. So how can you say this, the language? The language has to be very reconcilable. The words have to be reconcilable. Some verses were written in Medina. Yes, now you're coming to the point. And some verses were abrogated. So what the critics of Islam say is right. They cannot be reconciled. Thus, they were abrogated, and the later verses were more violent than the ones you are told here that you gave me in Surah Nisa for peace and reconciliation and investigation proper. I always agreed with you. Sorry, not with me, with what I'm showing in the Quran. You cannot play this game with me. But you did not agree with me, did you? About what? About the Quran ayats? This is the way of a gaslighter. I cannot take this. Always agreed with you? How? Before that, which name did you come with? No, I don't want you to agree with me. No, I agreed with you your critical analysis. Okay, so why do you want me to agree with you? We can disagree, right? In what matter do you want me to agree with you? What kind of proposition is this? Huh? Are you getting emotional on me now? Sentimental? We can disagree, yes. Okay, let's be very civilized and honest. And let's not get personal and try to bring the person to agree with you because you agree with me. You don't agree with me. You agree with what I'm showing you through the Quran ayats. And I don't have to agree with you. Do I? I'm having affect, I think. Laughing out loud. I do not mean to. Okay, you are having an affect of some sort. Oh my God. Are you Pakistani? Sorry, Indian Muslim? Because your way, it gets all kind of... If I had a European here, we could have a true understanding, a friendly way of... and not this personal stuff that I agreed with you all the time, Zahra. So you would say behind my back, oh God, she doesn't agree to me at all. I showed her this. It's either her way or the highway. What effect is this you are having? Right? No, no. You see, this is not about agreeing with each other. Crying out is not offering. Yes, it's not offering, but your Allah is saying that do not cry out for peace. Right? Is that right? Do not cry out for peace. Huh? Offering is not crying out. I didn't say offering was crying out. Did I say offering was crying out? There, who is offering you peace? Offering you. I did not disagree with this that you keep repeating this. Do not cry out for peace when you have the upper hand, or you will get the upper hand. There are two different translations. So we see both of them, right? Brother, GFS, we see both of them. And when did I say crying out was offering? And who is offering the believers? Believers, the disbeliever, if he offers you, if he says to you peace, he's saying to you peace, offering you peace. Saying and offering is also different. Having the upper hand is a position of power that is punching down to cry out for peace. You connected Surah Nisa at 94 to 47:35. One says offering, one says crying out. Yes, I did that. So you're saying that having the upper hand is a position of power that is punching down to cry out for peace. Oh, so you're saying this, then we go to another ayat I will show you. What is this? Punching down. When they are punching you down, you are under duress. Do not cry out for peace, it means, right? You're saying this. So what about this ayat here? Surah Tawbah ayat. Wait a minute, where is it? Jizya one, Jizya. Fight those. 29, sorry, where I went. Fight those who believe not in Allah, nor the last day, nor hold that forbidden, which Allah hath been forbidden, forbidden, which hath, which hath been forbidden by Allah and His Messenger, nor acknowledge the religion of truth, even if they are of the people of the book, until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. What is this? I'm just saying they are different verses, but they concern peace. Yes, Barakato for Dais. You are a Hadi now, Sheikh Zahra. Sorry, I don't know. Please, no praise or I'm not Sheikh or anything. Please, let's remain friends. Hadi Wadi, I'm not. I don't know what Hadi guide. I'm not. I'm just through the Quran ayats. I can never be a guide to anyone. Sorry. And Sheikh, sorry, I don't like that. Apologies. Please continue to show. Yes, here. Can you see this ayat? Surah Tawbah 29. Huh? Fight those. Now you are the aggressor, believers, who do not believe in Allah. And you believers are told to fight. Yes, I have many translations here. That's not the... Let's stick to the ayat now. Whatever the translation is, I did not ask you for any translation for this, but it means believers fight those, right? You at least know this, that this ayat is telling the believers to fight. I don't care how many translations you may have, right? But as long as you know that now here believers are asked to fight those who do not believe in Allah, nor the last day, nor hold that forbidden which hath been forbidden by Allah and His Messenger. Meaning, if you have pork, if you are having pork, God knows what will happen to you at the time of Prophet Muhammad. You must do Arabic or the translations will not suffice. We are speaking English. DFS. What? You must do Arabic. You know Arabic? DFS, you know Arabic? What does this mean? Fight. Qatilu. You know Arabic? Are you Pakistani? Seems like from your English, or you may live in America, you've studied O levels, A levels? I mean, we could look at each Arabic word. You want to look at each Arabic word. And then? Especially the disputed words. So in Surah Nisa, Hadi, you are the Muslim guide, religious scholar. Tell me, here, there it says, someone sends you peace, send peace. But here, okay, a disbeliever who doesn't believe in Allah nor the last day, it's very vague, right? Surah Nisa. Huh? Now it says here, this is very, very specific. Fight. And you know the Arabic word here, don't you? Or you don't know. You need to go to Arabia, ask an Arab. Or from the Quran will you find out. Quran dictionary, what this word means. Fight those who do not. Now it's come to this development in the Quran. It means to kill. Qatl. Kaf talam. Really. But your religious scholars say this means fight, not kill. Qutila is kill. Qatilu. There's a verb from that means to fight also. Yes. So does this mean fight or kill? You can ask your Christian, are you Adam seeker? You know the hadith. Tafsirs? You are in America? Qatalu means kill. No. That's qatalu. Qatalu. Here it says fight. Yes. So don't try to deceive me. Okay? Here it says fight those who do not believe in Allah and in the last day, and they do not make lawful what. Do not test me in this. You are not in the position to test me, right? And I'm not in the position to be tested. So drop your cleverness. Do not make unlawful what Allah has made unlawful. Meaning now they have pig, pork. Allah has made pork haram. They have to admit, they have to come into this religion. And I can even show you through the Surah Fat ayat how the Bedouins were forced to accept this religion. Now your Surah, whatever, for verse 94 has no meaning whatsoever. Do you not see the developments coming slowly in the Quran? Yes, please, no deception. Salahuddin, I cannot accept such a salam from you, hypocritical. I'm not a hypocrite, like your prophet and some of you Muslims are, and using deceptive tactics and calling Dr. David Wood. I'm not, you are a Pakistani. You are not, I cannot, your deception goes to no end. Why did you call Dr. David Wood? And you have sent your tattoo here, DFS. Huh? Stop using these deceptive tactics against me. Yes, you can say salam to your hypocrites who abominations on you people. You don't use reason. Quran tells you to use reason. Otherwise, Allah has put abomination on you people. Your own rule for yourself. Quran ayats for yourself. So you go sending salams to yourselves and each other. This Allah and your Quran ayat, I'm not a hypocrite that later on I develop myself and say now kill the Muslims until they pay the jizya. I've brought my religion, but before that, like you hypocrites and your prophet, this ayat, Surah Nisa, you are in America, and don't act like Pakistani here with me, spreading false rumors against Shias. Oh, believers, when you struggle in the cause of Allah, be sure of who you fight. And do not say to those who offer you greetings of peace, you are no believer. That is on state and empire level, not the individual level. Sorry. You may be helping me, but you wicked people. Oof, DFS. Oof. You are Pakistani DFS. Surah 67:21. Oof to you and to what you worship instead of Allah. Then will you not use reason? No. There's another ayat. God will put abomination on you. We love Shias. We wish them to be guided to the way. God forbid. Your way? Which way? Whose way? Imams have lied. The progeny of Prophet Muhammad, the daughter of Prophet Muhammad has lied. What is this way? Great question. And who brings you to the straight path? Huh? Those blessed, right? Who are the ones blessed? Salahuddin says the straight path speaking of in the Quran. So call upon Allah alone, but remain with those, the path of those, the path of those. Surah Fatiha. You Sunnis say Allah, Ameen. So the Shia say Allah after Surah Fatiha say Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. DFS says Allah knows the path. It is not Shia Sunnism, it is Shia Islam. It is also not Sunni Shiaism. You said it is Shia Islam here, DFS. Do you think the Ismaili Shias or the Twelver Shias? Ibadis do not lift their hands during prayer. Oh my God, where's Ibadis now? Why are you attacking the Omanis? Omani religion. Ibadis. Oh my God, is Salahuddin and Omani? There are Fivers as well, the Zaydis. But they're in Yemen. They're waiting for the Imam to come. They can't do with the president. They couldn't do with President Hadi. Salahuddin says, oh Allah bless our love, Muhammad, and the family of Muhammad. And the Sahabas, please add what the Sunnis add. What about the family of Huay? The Jews family. DFS says no attacking, these things are beautiful, but they are not true. You have various paths, even on various languages God has given you bamboo. This is beautiful? No, no, no. According to your religion, woe be to you. But your Allah is. Indeed, you are in differing speech, different opinions. Surah Dhariyat, Ayat 8. Deluded away from it is he who is deluded. How can you say it is beautiful when your Allah is saying to those who are like this? Metaphorically meaning different opinions at variance. Truly, you are in a doctrine discordant. Deluded away from it is he who is deluded. And I'll show you another verse, schism in Islam. Each party enjoying in what they are enjoying, rejoicing. They are not true, they are philosophical. Poets were philosophical and very distinct. Why were poets? Poets have been said that they are bad here in the Quran ayats. Please. This is not a joke here, a DFS or Salahuddin. Your own opinions don't matter here when it comes to Islam. These things are just so beautiful and philosophical and all this. No, no. It's his path, it's Allah's path or the hell path. Jahannam. Steeped in ignorance and heedlessness. These are Shias. Bless the family, we Ali Muhammad. Yeah, accursed are they. Jawaria, Safiya, Huwai, how he killed this. You are prejudiced against the family. You are for the family of Prophet Muhammad, you Shias. Cursed is Fatima, the Prophet's daughter. She took Fadak. She was fighting for Fadak. You know, from those. हक लिया है, हक छीना है फातिमा ने. लानत है इस पे. Daughter of Muhammad. Allah not control what these so-called Muslims do, what was revealed. Lanat hai Fatima pe. For Prophet Muhammad, his family so important, he make his family up above everyone. We have to love them. Explain this curse, Zahara. I want to know what you mean here. Fadak was given. Curse on the Fatima Zahra. It was Fai. Unlike Khaybar, Fadak was acquired peacefully. It was thus considered Fai and belonged to Muhammad in line with verse 59, Surah 59:6 of the Quran. There is some evidence that Muhammad gifted his share of Fadak to Fatima in Medina. And even cursed be Muhammad who took Medina, Yathrib from the people of Jews, expelled them from their homeland. Is this not enough explanation? Surah Hashr ayats. It was gifted by the Jews of Yathrib to Muhammad. Yes, the Agha Khan Maulana, again a beautiful embellishment. No. Why are that poor Agha Khan? Maybe remove this thing. I will not have you Shias talk against Agha Khan. Remove this. Beautiful embellishment. No. We're talking about Fatima Zahra, Prophet Muhammad's daughter. Yes, it's not His Highness Agha Khan. I'm not a Shia. Well, you sounded like one, because only Shias only send salam and blessing to family of Muhammad, not the Sahabas. I love my Mawla. Ismailis are Shia. No, but you brought this beautiful embellishment. What is embellishment? Oh, now you've brought Agha Khan in. Are you after the truth, or are you just, you're so attached to your religion, you won't let go blindly? Aja, attractive. Oh, you are Ismaili Shia. Okay, sorry, I got that wrong. Not embezzlement, but embellishment. Oh, I see. I'm after awareness. The truth or awareness? Well, you know, this Islam in the line of Agha Khanis, Ismailis, it's going back to what Jews had been like. So karma takes, every cause has an effect, like Einstein said. What happens and what goes around comes around. One day, this what they took from the Jews. You see, now even the Shias are split. You see how this religion has split into pieces. Because one force, great force, is pulled the Ismailis to become like the Yathrib, very, very successful, flourishing, having palm groves and all. Okay, you are a Ismaili. So Ismailis are very good, very peaceful. Let's have a conversation which is, I like the Karaites and Falashans. I'm not comfortable with rabbinic Talmudic Zionism. I see. Karaites and I never heard of them, sorry. Brother DFS? Who are the Karai? Never heard of them. These are Jews. Okay, these are Jews. So now they follow only Torah. I see. Ah, and so I don't know how to. What does Agha Khan say about these verses? I don't know how to show you anymore the discrepancies in the Quran ayats. I can't remember my. What does Agha Khan say about this? Surah Tahrim ayat. Like Surah Azab ayat also. Like this prophet, we are told, O Prophet, why do you prohibit yourself what Allah has made lawful for you, seeking the approval of your wives? There is Ismaili Notices. Yes, the page I joined, Facebook, I still have joined. I'm there as a fan, as a non-Ismaili. O Prophet, why do you prohibit yourself from what Allah has made lawful for you, seeking the approval of your wives? And compare it with Surah Maida, 87. telling the believers, and then we have these ayats which I think say very bad things about hypocrites. 70 times. If Prophet Muhammad was to ask forgiveness for the hypocrites will not be forgiven. On one hand, this. So I proved through Surah Tahrim ayat 1 and Surah Meda ayat 87. O you who have believed, do not prohibit the good things which Allah has made lawful to you. This is 87. Got it? Okay. So on one hand, Prophet is supposed to declare these verses, proclaim it out to the believers, right? And another thing is, in war, the believers are told not to cry out for peace, right? And another thing is to remain steadfast in war. So in Surah Tahrim 66, ayat 1, why does the Prophet, just because the wives were annoying or something like this, did this, prohibit against this verse of to the believers? Surah Meda ayat 87. Do not prohibit the good things which Allah has made lawful to you, and do not transgress. Meaning, if you do this, you will be transgressors. Indeed, Allah does not like transgressors. Allah actually doesn't love. The word is hebbu. Heb. Love. It comes from love. And so Prophet himself became a transgressor. Surah Tahrim ayat 1 we're told. If you're following me, what I'm pointing to, the Quran ayats, comparing. Doesn't it make the Prophet a transgressor and a hypocrite? Saying one thing to the believers here, and he's going against this. And if you say the wives were annoying, or hypocrites, or disbelievers, as the ayat goes, that we will give you Muslims, right, to get married to, Allah says, I will give him Muslim women if you two wives cooperate against each other and do not desist. So I hope I don't lose my line of this thing, showing you through reason, Quran ayats. Now, on one hand, he says this to the believers because Allah, this is a command, order, do not. And it is told the believers. Believers are being told, do not prohibit the good things which Allah has made lawful to you. And do not transgress. Indeed, Allah does not like transgressors. And on the other hand, Surah Tahrim, he goes and the Prophet himself has gone and prohibited himself. What Allah had made lawful for him. Right? Transgressor. Prophet Muhammad became. And Surah Saf ayat says, two and three. O you who have believed, why do you say what you do not do? Greatly hateful in the sight of Allah is that you say what you do not do. Greatly hateful. So compare it, Surah Tahrim ayat 1 and Surah Meda ayat 87. Then come here, Surah Saf. Yes. So what was put to practice in Surah Tahrim by Prophet Muhammad? What did he practice? And what was he to say to the believers? Surah Maida ayat 87. Huh? DFS. This is about practice. But it is against the believers. It's warning the believers. Because the believers did not put into practice what Allah had commanded them. But, however, the general thing about hypocrites and all this, what is the general characteristics of hypocrites? From the Quran ayats. They say with their mouths what is not in their hearts, right? What does Allah greatly hate here? Very direct verse about the hypocrites. They say what they do not do themselves. So what did Prophet Muhammad put in practice? Break a law of Allah. GFS gives me Surah Maida 54. Are you scared of this? You see, I'm on this ayat now. Salahuddin says, this is another proof of the message. Would any author and respected leader reprimand himself? No, he would not. Like this in his book. No, this is a true revelation. What a cunning way to put it. Actually, Salahuddin, Surah, is Allah and Muhammad the same? Are Allah and Muhammad the same? Did he reprimand himself or Allah is reprimanding him? On one hand, yeah, they say Allah and Prophet Muhammad are the same. Obedience to them. Allah, it's equal to. But did Allah reprimand him or did Prophet Muhammad? Please read the Surah Tahrim ayat 1. If you are an Arab, you should know by now that Prophet Muhammad never said, oh my God, I'm a sinner. Sorry, God, forgive me. So when I ask for forgiveness, no. It is not Muhammad reprimanding Muhammad in Surah Tahrim ayat 1. It is Allah reprimanding Muhammad. So you agree that Allah was reprimanding Muhammad. Yeah, Mahabba to DFS. No, not scared. You spoke of Mahabba. I'm not taking the hypocritical, the ayats which he has put for himself and his family members through face value, just on the face of it superficially. I'm doing close examination. If you don't understand this, you may leave. My close examination of Quran ayats brought out that he's the greatest hypocrite, greatest liar. Salahuddin, do you believe the Quran is revelation of God or from Muhammad? No. I don't believe in things which have no proof and which have discrepancies and all this. Salahuddin, answer my question here. I've been with such a snake like you, enduring. Direct question. Salahuddin, does Prophet Muhammad reprimand himself or is Allah reprimanding him in Surah Tahrim ayat 1? Huh? Who is the author of the Quran according to you? No, you said here, You said here, this is another proof of the message. Would any author, look at him, this guy, you people are saying, stay in Islam by hook or by crook. Where is this Salahuddin's? I have to, oh, it's not coming here. It's like my, no, stick to this point, don't go anywhere else. Why are you after me, snake? You want to wriggle your way out of Islam. You do it. This is another proof of the message, you said. Would any author and respected leader reprimand himself like this in his book? Reprimand himself. So you mean to say this book, Allah is Muhammad? Reprimanding himself as Allah? No, you are the one saying, because I'm using the Quran ayat Surah Tahrim ayat. So then why are you asking me? What are you asking me here? I'm asking you. GFS, it does not say on face value. Of course not. No hypocrite is going to say I'm a hypocrite. And he will even use shaitan as Allah. You know, even shaitan, we are told, reprimands himself or something like that. He changes his opinion. He says, I believe in Allah. I see what you do not see. No, you are the one here who said, this is another proof of the message. Look at these Muslims here. What are they doing to me? They won't even answer the question properly, then question me, saying that, do you believe the Quran is revelation of God or from Muhammad? If I believed, I would have been a Muslim by now, right? Salahuddin, but why is he asking me this question? You told me that this is another proof. You are such a hypocrite, I can't take it. I'll have allergies, I'll fall flat and die on my face. I can't take hypocrites like you. Hypocrites never do say they are hypocrites, and they never admit their mistakes. Quran ayats. They will never come asking for forgiveness, they're too arrogant. But when the Baduans did, you said they are also hypocrites. So the Shias put them in another category of hypocrites. So it goes on like this. You keep making exceptions and compromising and defending Prophet Muhammad, a hypocrite of one kind, one of the best hypocrites. Best, A1, worst, yani you know what I mean. A hypocrite will never say he's a hypocrite. GFS says we already dealt with one interpretation from Allah to Muhammad. We must continue to examine the words as you are doing, Zahra Bazak. GFS says Tawil is important and Ismaili no says. Tawil is what? The interpretation? Tawil? Salahuddin, by now, I'm sorry if you're going to be a snake like this, for my betterment of my health, and you're not answering my question, I will not be able to take you. I'm just not timing you out here because I will lose all this. How the You see, it's very scary how the Muslims come. It's distressed the living daylights. Salahuddin type Muslims have distressed the living daylights out of me. Like, here in the Muslim country like Saudi Arabia, Emirates, they can come like snakes like this. Salahuddin. And DFS also, who doesn't see that Prophet Muhammad is a hypocrite. I have to seep through the ayats. You can't take things on when he's going against Baduans and saying Allah knows what's in their hearts and they are hypocrites. They say with their mouth what they do not mean when they ask for forgiveness. Salahuddin, you are just here for, I don't know, it scares the living daylights out of me because, when I see that even in Emirates, where I come from, my father's country, um, will the Muslims harass me in this way, like take me round and round and ask me such questions, like such sharpness and such cunning, calculative way? What does this mean, TFS? You are arguing for the rational in all. I don't think so. I think you yourself are gone case. Muhammad was a man, peace, blessings upon him. Salahuddin says, which Islam are you arguing against? Sunni 12er? Oh, this has gone further here. I missed out. It doesn't mean that because your father was Muhammad, so I never had a God concept about Muhammad. What is this? Good concept. This dunya is gone, Zahra. A GFS says, Zahra, this dunya is gone. Dunya will always stay, but Islam, I hope, goes. And I hope I'm with the two people who are giving me a hard time. Salahuddin has ever been coming here giving me a hard time. Calculate very, this is like if a Sunni Muslim judge would, a judge, with their money and power, ऐसे आएंगे. Oh my God, now my तो ये तो by hook or by crook, यानी according to you people, Muhammad, you can't see. If you can't see Muhammad was a hypocrite, you can argue your heads off here, but I won't listen because I can see Muhammad is a hypocrite. I did my research through Quran ayats. What are you here for? No, we appreciate your outlook. I do at least. Oh, you appreciate my outlook. Acha. Thank you. But there are hypocrites who could say this and want me. They want to behave well. Now, behave well calculatingly. We bless you. You are good. Listen, nothing. Even if you cut me into pieces now, you send the police here. I will not. Inside, by hook or by crook, you can say, lagta hai. What are hypocrites? Do you think hypocrites? Quran ayat, through Quran ayats, can you tell me what hypocrites are? Through Quran ayats, can you give hypocrites? Description. Allama Rashid Turabi did. In which surah is the description of hypocrites? Do you know Allama Rashid Turabi, long time ago, Indo-Pakistani, passed away in 1973, December. DFS says, what would you say about Surah 16 verse 64? Let me see. तो ऐसे तो अगर माँ बाप मेरे ऐसे चालाक, thank God I don't have चालाक, चालाक माँ बाप, like, oh no, sorry, mother. Oh, if I had a Salahuddin, I would have gone crazy. I would have been in the mental asylum. But maybe because since childhood, if I had a father like Salahuddin, then I would not have. But my mother was a very beautiful, sweet soul, innocent. Okay. And we didn't, through deceptive ways like this, try to convince people that our religion is true religion. Now I'm losing it because with hypocrisy, it's dizzying heights of. I'm feeling kind of very stressed. My body's hurting now. Oh, Surah. I may think there are good ayats. Maybe they've come from the Jews. I think Prophet Muhammad copy and pasted. So when I've established that this Quran it's not a wahi on, and who is this Muhammad? Please, the true Muhammad, stand up. We have sent down the book that you may explain to them the truth concerning what they are disputing, and that the book may serve as a guidance and mercy for those who believe in it. Sorry, what do you mean by this? What's about this verse? Book. Is it a book? It is a... What does kitaba mean? We are disputing. Will you dispute with him what he saw? Surah Najm ayat. You're not even allowed to dispute with Prophet Muhammad for what he saw. This Quran came on someone's heart through a trusted spirit. Quran ayat. Can't remember the number ending. Now here it says what they are disputing, truth concerning what they are disputing. Explain to them the truth. Will anyone explain this? What he saw, are you going to dispute with him? Huh? This is outrageous. If he had shown, Baba, he's showing you what he saw. Then why are you disputing with him? And do you consider Lat? Can you see them? Of course we can see the idols. Then he approached and descended. Now will you dispute with him? Where's that ayat? So will you dispute with him over what he saw? Are ye dunya mein, in this world. Now God is saying that somewhere where you were not present, for example, Bibi Maryam had a son, miraculously, right? Believe, 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 believe. Oh, people of faith. अरे ये ज़बरदस्ती है क्या? Forceful believing without evidence? How can we believe? If you had given us that seeing, अभी मोहम्मद को भी कहता है कि you were not there when they drew the lots for Maryam, who will be her guardian. Surah, can't remember, maybe Al Imran, most probably. Will you now here you see? So if Muhammad wasn't present witness there, how can we know? Bibi Maryam having a son miraculously, and here we are told, so will you dispute with him over what he saw in this world, in the whole case? Let's take an example. DFS, what if he's a schizophrenic? Sorry, I have to, you know, he's having delusions even about the the Muslims are in this thing. Did he go physically from Surah Isra ayat, right? From one mosque to another mosque, or what? Or did he go in a dream, or did he go in kind of a spiritual way? Now, so will you dispute with him over what he saw? अच्छा, इधर ये कहता है, right? And look at the thing against polytheists, idol worshippers. So have you considered Allah and Al-Uzza? जब उनके idol present हैं, and Manat the third and the other one. Of course they have considered that. Is the male for you and for him the female? No, both are for you. Gods are there and goddesses are there. How are you asking? My Lord, you have given me something of sovereignty and taught me of the wheel of dreams. Hazrat Yusuf, the interpretation of the dreams. So Hazrat Yusuf, Surah Yusuf, Tawil of the dreams, right? तो इसमें वो अच्छा ये तो इस्माइली का हो गया तावील का ये मतलब है थैंक यू GFS about that but tell me dispute now that reminded me इधर कह रहा है कि आइडल वर्शिपर्स को इतना गलत सब किया है sovereignty is the operative word here हाँ thank you thank you DFS I understand अच्छा यानी हाँ जैसे सुलेमान को अपनी सॉवरेनिटी दे दी ना पावर दे दिया अर्थ में डेविल्स भी वर्क कर रहे थे सुलेमान के लिए राइट हाँ मुझे अब समझ में आ गया थैंक यू सो मच DFS बेस्ट रिगार्ड्स टू योर हिज हाइनेस आगा खान I hope he lives long and he too leaves Islam. Right? MashaAllah. Acha, GFS. Thank you very much. Inshallah, may His Highness Aga Khan leave Islam. God bless him, give him a long life. The Quran describes itself as signs, parables or symbols, amtal, and every sign, ayah or symbol, matal, by definition represents a symbolized meaning, mamtal. Yes, this is Tawil. I see. Symbolized meaning. हाँ एक तो वो एम्बिगुअस आयट्स है ना जो सिर्फ वेरी फर्मली उनको पता है जैसे हुए को पता होगा each one individually maybe not together yes I see I will try to each one individually maybe not together meaning sorry didn't get this the Quran describes itself as signs So each one could be individually a sign of Allah and maybe not together. So these ayats could be from the Jews, we don't know. Because it doesn't make sense. The Quran came as a book, it didn't come as a book. No one wrote it. Kalam jaise na, the pen by the ink, noon by the pen which writes. The pen was not writing, they didn't see it. Maybe together we are one universe, one sign. We are all one. Quran says souls are one. But all that is scattered and it's not put properly. तो देखें जैसे I had to leave my love for Ahl Bayt, Hussein, Imam Hussein and all this. आप भी थोड़ा मुझे मेरे जैसा maybe I expect too much from you, I'm sorry, but लेकिन मुझे वो लोग समझ में नहीं आते हैं. You see, maybe I come from a different background. और मुझे बहुत घबराहट, अब मुझे insanity आ जाती है, हिट करती है सलाहुद्दीन. And then I start to have this scenario कि क्या कि मेरे शेख्स का भी मेरे पीछे लोग भेजें, पाकिस्तानीज आए थे फेसबुक पे. तो जब ऐसा होता है ना, बिकॉज दे आर टेकिंग केयर ऑफ मी हियर फाइनेंशियली एंड ऑल दिस, तो मैं अपने आप को ख़त्म करना चाहती हूँ. लाइक आई वांट टू कमिट सुसाइड ऐसा. लेकिन ऑफ कोर्स आई वांट, बिकॉज द फोर्स हियर डजंट अलाउ मी टू कमिट सुसाइड. लेकिन मेरा दिल इतना घबराता है ऐसा, मेरा दिमाग, मैं और पागल हो जाती हूँ. सलाहुद्दीन जैसे मैं सोचती हूँ, बिकॉज he told me once he came here that he's from Saudi Arabia. तो मेरा दिल बहुत घबराता है ऐसे लोगों से. The distinction must be made. We cannot be faulted for seeing these differences. Oh yes, thank you. I understand. But the Quran is doing this. Right? On one hand it says, if Allah had willed, you would all have been Muslims. But on the other hand, Surah Zariyat आपने पढ़ा है? With different, and conjectures and you and all. And आपने against polytheists तो definitely पढ़ा होगा. It's an unforgivable sin. Ayat है, taking partners with Allah is an unforgivable sin. लेकिन ये Prophet Muhammad is a partner with Allah, associated with Allah. So who will explain these ayats? Imams failed, 12 Shiyas. The only way is that maybe someone in the Ismaili became very highly intelligent. If I would have left. Now I was thinking of recently, some years back, that I should find my true Imam. And what is this? Imam Jafar Sadiq Ismail and Imam Musa Kazim split. And God says He protects this Quran, right? And His religion. It would prevail over all religions. Then the wife, the sons, I mean, what is this? Jafar Sadiq should have married one woman, or no, if he had more sons with the same woman, fight, conflict. One son is saying I'm Imam, the other one is saying he's Imam. So not even Sunni, not any religion, like any sect from this Islam help me. No, help me. And if it's like beyond, in Salahuddin I try to explain, like my mother would not be like this, right? Give me such a hard time. Sorry, I cannot. I thought I would be helping, however hard time the Muslims may harass me. and give me and be very, like, you know, like chalak, sly, and calculating. Eh, मुझे घबराहट होती है. I can't take it. Baba, you know, my mother, she tried to keep me safe, and my mother was a very simple lady. Deceitful. तो मुझे तो बहुत घबराहट होती है. The distinctions must be made. We cannot be faulted for seeing thee. We cannot be faulted, but Allah is making us faulted. Surah Zariyat ayat. Best thing is, तो ये जो आया है ना, ये बहुत मुसीबत से बहुत मुसीबत कर दी है. प्लूरलिज्म. तो मैंने बहुत सोचा इमाम के बारे में, इस्माइली इमाम के बारे में भी बहुत. Indeed, what you are now on this one. अच्छा, heavens may be different pathways है ना. So the Ismaili Imam, let me see how the Ismaili Imam, like वो तो कहेगा कि by the heavens containing pathways. The beautiful, 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 numerous paths. तो फिर indeed you are in differing speech. इधर तो जैसे yes, we are at fault. The nafs is not the higher self. And deluded away from it is he who is deluded. लेकिन इधर तो कहते हैं कि even the heavens have numerous pathways. By the heaven, sky, samai, full of pathways. Kaltoffer, sister, Kaltoffer says, sister, 97% of the Quran can be found in the Jewish Haggadah. Haggadah, did I pronounce this properly? The Talmud, the Mishnah, and the Gnostic Gospels, all known man-made books, written before the Quran. Yes, yes. I heard cult offer. I once heard, that this Quran, they were saying, was, but I was a Shia and I disagreed with it. The Talmud, I heard, or someone would say that this Quran is from the Jewish book, Talmud. You see how now we had some Sunni brothers, sisters, Sunnis, saying that, you know, Shiaism has come from Ibn Saba, and Ibn Saba was a Jew. DFS says, agreed, called. She was just saying this. Yes, yes. When was I? Did I say this? But I think so. Numerous forms. I think, you know, maybe if His Highness Aga Khan, somehow it's come around to going back some of the ayats, beautiful ayats that we see, going back from where it came from, going back to the Jews. So even the Imam doesn't realize that high spiritual Jews had. The Talmud is problematic though, The Torah is the Quran-like book. DFSS. Acha. I really couldn't find the Talmud online. Google search. Tried to see a little bit. Some stories they say have come from Talmud. If you go and listen to Abdullah Samir, maybe there will be a video there about this. That the Quran has some stories from Talmud, the Jewish book. Haggadah, Acha, the Talmud, and the Mishnah, and the Gnostic Gospels, all known man-made books written before the Quran. Yes, Kalthofer. Thank you, brother. 97, let me just, 97%. You mean to say, what about the punishments like the scalding water and all this? Destroyed are the misinformers. Slain, killed, cursed. Some say, I mean the word by word here, Quran, qutila, cursed be the liars. So you see, even the Muslims are they don't know. Some say the Quran was a reaction to Talmudic Judaism based on the chronology that makes sense. DFSS. Wait, let me see if I've not. I hope I haven't missed anyone's comments. Only that I don't want to see Salahuddin. I'm really sorry. I get very. I have a weakness in me. I can't take the Muslim. This Salahuddin ways. Sorry. It is hazardous to my mental health and my well-being. I mean, it's enough now. I did take it. Agreed call, she was just. So, Acha, DFSS, some say the Quran was a reaction to Talmudic Judaism based on the chronology that makes sense. Based on the chronology. Some say the Quran was a reaction. I see. And then, some say this, some say that. But most probably this Quran is really not. Because the Imams have failed to explain properly and we were told they were killed. Kalthofer says, sister, look for legends of the Jews. You can find everything in there. Oh, okay, I will look for that legends of the Jews. I'll remember this. I just before I forget. So yeah, it doesn't seem like even those caliphs, hadiths. When I read the Sunni hadiths, I was like, I can't. Like, this is the Prophet. So, what about the Shias? Why do they hold on? Why did they held on to this religion knowing all this? Like, we were told they were such great researchers and honest, and Imam Hussein saved humanity. Huh? Like, it is such a shock for me. They could have spared us the pain, the shock. The pain is ongoing whenever I can, because you see, some person is not well, okay, you may be normal, you can get out of it. Finally, we have this. And what if we didn't even have the the social media and all this information, Google search, free information. You know what the Sunnis would, and the Shias even, in the Shia, 12 Shias, what is it? Apostasy law, what is the punishment? They could have spared, and back to the pain thing, they could have spared. This injustice, this. Some Jews do not follow the Talmud. Karaites, Karaites and Falashans are two examples of Jews who only follow Torah and not Talmud. I see, that's why some Jews don't follow Talmud. Talmud was written by the priests, rabbis or something, not by the Torah was revealed to Moses, but the scribes are there. So, but Talmud is like written, it's about what is it about? Priests, rabbis? It's like something else. Talmud is like after Moses or something, they had the rabbis added and like that, had Gnostic information coming from God, inspired, like we inspired the bees. But now you see, the Muslims cannot be inspired like this. Shaitan has come. We have such a curse on that the Muslim cannot see. You see how many translations are here for one ayat. Woe to the falsehood mongers. Doomed are the conjecturers. Slain are the constant conjecturers. Destroyed are the misinformers. Cursed be the liars. Quran ayat, word by word Arabic. You see how many translations here. Yet, this is just a slight thing I'm telling, but it is important because they've made it such a thing. You can't lie. You can't misinform. How can there be these different translations? It's from the Quran rules. Talmud was written down around 500. Quran was just a bit later. 500 BC. Quran was a bit later. 1400 years. Yeah, Quran, okay. DFS that, Acha, I see. Of course, they say Talmud was the Jews' book written earlier than the Quran, definitely. There is a term called Tahrif. It is specifically referring to the Jews who altered the Quran. Not BC, no. What is after death? Before Christ. Before, is the Talmud written after the death of Christ? I mean, sorry, the resurrection. What do you call it? Crucifixion. There is a term called Tarif. After, yes. Crucifixion. Then the resurrection, then what? Then being raised back to Allah, God, the Most High. There is a term called Tarif. It is specifically referring to the Jews who altered the Quran. I don't think the Jews altered the Quran. If this Tarif is coming from the Muslims, I think that the Quran was taken from the Jews. Talmud is very recent, but it is before the Quran, right? I don't think the Jews altered the Quran. DFS. I think why would the Jews alter the Quran? Right? Talmud inspired the Quran. Yes. I think the Jews, maybe it was a negative inspiration. I see. Maybe. So, what can we be sure about now? Nothing. Is there a book we can be sure about? You see, what can we be sure about? God cannot keep us like this in the lurch. Mubin, Imam and Mubin. We have to find that Imam. Surah Yasin. Yasin. Maybe we can try to understand the signs. Still not good enough, DFS. You see what we have to... No. You understand the signs. You know, there's a saying of Imam Hussein, if I go here and there, understanding your signs, I will miss and this and that. So, okay, you may go for the search. You can try to understand the signs. But how do you know that you've understood the signs in the way God has sent the signs for you to understand it? Because, okay, you would say God would make us understand the signs the way He sent it. But that's not what happens. Most of the time, you see, majority have gone astray. Sunni-Shia conflict. Kalthofer says the Babylonian Talmud was written between 374 to 427. Of what era? BC? Yes, but before 500 it was written. Talmud was written, but before 500, before the Quran. Before 500 it was written. You mean 500 years before the Quran, the Talmud was written, DFSC? Kalthofer says the Babylonian Talmud was written between. That's a Babylonian Talmud. DFS says after Jesus. I see. Now, you see so many, so we need to find something else. God should have given us something inside of us. All this outside is not right. And if someone has to come and guide us, he has to be better than, much better than this. No, it was written down in 500. Acha. See, we don't, one is saying there's a Babylonian Talmud, GFS. That's a Babylonian Talmud. Kalthofer is saying that. Surah Yasin. Oh God. Imam al-Mubin. Open. We don't have much difficult. Ismaili Net, Imam al-Mubin means manifest or apparent Imam. The Christian crusaders and their Occidental chroniclers were completely ignorant of Islam. Smiley.net. Add sister. Sorry. Call offer, what's that? AD? AD. Acha. Not add. uh, AD. After death. Huh? After Christ's death. See, now we have this by this is tafsir. Oh goodness, what is the meaning of Imam al-Mubin? See, now the meaning of Imam al-Mubin. Oh my goodness, and we have Imam al-Mubin, Ismaili.net. You can read this. Uh, DFS says 500 was 122 years before Hijrah. Acha. That okay. That okay. That close, huh? Sorry, excuse me. Oh my God. Now we have Imam al-Mubin. Ayat number. This is a terrible tragedy, I feel. If I may talk about my feelings, um, DFS says this is a chronological historiography. Chronological history. Okay, these years. Please talk about your feelings. Yeah, I feel that this is a great tragedy. You know, how you can see the example given by Salahuddin, and it really gets to me how we have been lied and deceived deeply by the our religious scholars, imams, and for the Sunnis, their Quran, Hadith, this, that we have, like, I'm truly after the truth. I'm not your enemy. And why is it that you can't see a simple fact? When the Quran, through the Quranic rules, ayat rules, why would I misguide you? Why would I cheat you? And when I think, but there was Muhammad who can, and the monotheistic religions, these messengers, I find them crazy. One day, Jeremiah, something I was told in the dream, in Karachi, thank God I had the Bible. So I was doing Jiddu Krishnamurti at that time, reading his books, buying his books and reading them. Now when I started to read Jeremiah in the Bible, I was like, oh my goodness, what craziness is this? I better leave it. I started to see the craziness in monotheistic religions. Once I was a Shia in Karachi. Questions were coming up and I was like, I was lying there because, I didn't have the balance to get up. Because the questions were like doubts against my religion. So it was like meditating but lying down. And I was like, how can... I was having doubts about Hussein, Ibn Ali, Karbala and all this. Doubts. So then thinking, where will I find Karbala Waqia? Where will I find the Karbala truth? Right? I couldn't. I had Sheikh Mufid, Sheikh Saduk, Sheikh Mufid's Karbala written from the Maktal. You see, and then I still was in doubt. No. I need to have first-hand knowledge, original. This Allah, the all-knowing. How can He leave us in the lurch? So then came an answer to me that I thought, oh, yes. Like, okay, you can't find the true Karbala Waqiya, maybe. Okay? But, you know, in the Quran it says, like, cursed be the oppressors, zalim. You know what will happen to them, right? So how can Prophet Muhammad put his grandchildren whom he loved and kissed and showed so much affection to and said they are the youth of paradise or something, east and the west, Hassan Hussein, Shabir Shabar. So how could this curse? You know, the Quran ayat is there. There's a curse. Huh? So I said, yeah, and Imam Hussein would give his life and his children's life and 6 months old Ali Asghar. So I just got up and I was like overwhelmed. Like, yeah, how can Imam Hussein lie? Right? Because you see, even Hazrat Ibrahim, Allama Rashid Turabi, you know, like says, Allah tells Ibrahim, my covenant does not reach the Zalimun. So they can't have an atom's worth. No, atom's worth is a lot. Let's say a dot of zulm in them. Infallibility has to be there. So accursed. Allah, if they die disbelievers, right? So much on disbelievers. Allah and you know the Mubahala. You know, Sunnis, I don't know why stopped putting a Mubahala event in their tafsirs. The ayat is there. Bring our sons, ourselves, our children. No, sorry. Our sons, our women, and ourselves. Hmm? So I remembered this. Can someone be that crazy, right? Or that wicked, or that, like, to have the curse on themselves and lie, exploit Allah? So as I was reading Jiddu Krishnamurti, I said to myself, yeah, no. No one can lie like that. No, I don't think anyone would lie. I'm not able to say it properly. And then sacrifice their children like Hussein did, right? What do you say? You used your aqala, Zahra, human or intellectual soul, nafse aqala. It is a divine created substance having the powers of reasoning, inference, and organization. Yes, but you know, thank you, I used it, but guess what? Later on it failed me. And then I left Imam Hussein, and I became an ex-Shia also. What is the turning point verse in the Quran? What is that? You see, there's Allah and angels. No. That you can see curses on the disbelievers, they died disbelievers. The Yamanis and Omanis let go of infallibility. Are they wrong for being more enlightened in that way than 12 verse? You see, how can I say, all Muslims have gone wrong, not only the 12 Shias. I don't know who's more wrong, but the more shock that I got from the Shias, 12 Shias, I, if the Yemenis or Omanis killed me, it would, the shock was so great from the Shias, 12 Shias, that if I wouldn't, I think at that time when feeling the pain, the pain was overbearing. Like, sorry, the pain was unbearable, right? At that time, after these live streams, when I listen to myself, the pain comes back. And in the beginning, it was so unbearable. I felt that I think death would only be the solution. I can't take it. So whether the Yemenis and the Omanis let go of infallibility, are they wrong for being more enlightened in that way than 12ers? Good question, but I can't answer this. But I would say that more wrong, they're wrong for being more enlightened. Are they more enlightened? I haven't given much thought to that. If the Yemenis were more enlightened, uh, they wouldn't. They would be like Mawiya and Hassan, peace treaty. They would allow Hadi, the president, Abdurrabbu Hadi, the Houthis, and the Saleh, President Saleh's followers, all would have united. The Houthis would not have killed President Saleh. You see, that's so. And the Zaydis would have done what Imam Hassan did, not what Imam Hussein did. That makes sense, right? They did, right, what God knows. And now we have a terrible disaster. And I don't want to see what they did to their children and all, and the country, and the people, what Hassan did and not Hussein. Yes, with Mawiya. Yeah, right? So we would have followed, then we would have had a great peace for the greater good and not such a. I think something is starting DFS. I have to put my thing on, yeah. I have to just call to offer. God bless you too much. Thank you so much.